Novak Djokovic was banned from the Australian Open back in 2022 over issues with his vaccination status in 2022. Tennis star Novak Djokovic was stopped from playing in the Australian Open because he didn't meet Australia's COVID-19 jab rules. Back in 2020, when the pandemic was at its peak, Djokovic said he didn't want to get the jab just so he could travel. He also said that if it became a must-have, he would have to think about whether to get it or not. Australia has very strict rules for people coming into the country because of the pandemic. They said everyone who isn't an Aussie citizen must be fully jabbed unless they have a medical reason not to be. There was a lot of fuss and confusion about whether Djokovic had had his jabs before the tournament, which led to the Australian government cancelling his visa twice and stopping him from playing in the tournament. At first, Djokovic managed to get out of having to follow the jab rules by getting the okay from two separate medical groups set up by Tennis Australia and the Victorian state government. But when he got to Australia, the Australian Border Force, ABF, held him and ended up cancelling his visa because they said he didn't have enough proof to show he met the rules for coming into the country. Tennis star Djokovic had a legal tussle with Australian authorities over his visa. Despite winning an appeal, Immigration Minister Alex Hawke cancelled his visa again due to public health concerns. Djokovic announced in January 2022 that he was travelling to Australia with an exemption, which was later clarified as pending review by medical experts. Upon arrival, Djokovic was detained and denied entry for not meeting COVID-19 vaccination requirements. He then revealed he wasn't vaccinated. Judge Anthony Kelly reinstated Djokovic's visa, citing lack of time for him to seek legal advice before the airport decision. This led to Djokovic being reinstated as the #1 seed in the Australian Open. However, Minister Hawke revoked Djokovic's visa again, leading to another appeal from Djokovic's team. In November 2022, Djokovic won the appeal based on principles of procedural fairness and legal unreasonableness. Djokovic, the world's top-ranked men's tennis player, has held the #1 spot for an impressive 405 weeks over 13 years. He's also secured the year-end #1 position a record 8 times. With 10 Australian Open titles under his belt, Djokovic is gearing up for another potential victory as the 2024 tournament kicks off on January 13. The world's #1 will start the tournament against young Croatian star Dino Prismic, aged 18. The match is scheduled at the Rod Laver Arena at 3 a.m. Eastern Time.